Happy Halloween, everyone! I hope all of you are having a good October so far. This year, I wanted to talk about the history of quote-unquote haunted levels in Sonic games. One thing I love about Sonic games is that they have so many different locations and environments that the stages take place in. Haunted levels have been a reoccurrence in several Sonic games. These are levels that include many creepy aspects like ghosts, pumpkins, things of that nature. It all started with the release of Sonic & Knuckles in 1994. Sandopolis Zone, at first, may seem like a pretty normal desert stage. That is, until you enter the pyramid in Act 2. And we have our first ever encounter with ghosts. If you're not scared out of your f***ing mind yet, I don't know what to tell you. This level has a cool gimmick. Over time, the lights start to dim, and as the room gets darker, more of the ghost characters appear. So you have to pull these switches to turn the lights back on. Honestly, I've never been much of a fan of this level. I don't know, I just always found the level design to be a bit of a headache to navigate, especially with the lights being a factor. The aesthetic is nice though. I do think a haunted pyramid at the time was a pretty unique concept, but as we will soon learn, it is not even close to being the last time they did something like this. That brings us to Sonic Adventure 2. This game has a handful of spooky levels. The big one, obviously, is Pumpkin Hill. It's a classic. It is a Knuckles stage, and personally, I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay in these levels, but the scenery is pretty damn good. You got these large pumpkin pillars, and there's a lot of other props placed around the stage that add to the vibe as well. I've also always been fond of the skybox. It kind of creates a sort of sunset vibe, which I think fits perfectly. Now, the aesthetic is not creepy per se, but it has that fun yet spooky Halloween vibe that I really like. Also, the music, come on, it's fire. Shadow's level, Sky Rail, takes place in the same location, but it's not nearly as spooky, with the only Pumpkin Hill remnant being the large pumpkin pillars. But Sonic Adventure 2 did not stop there. Right after Pumpkin Hill, you go to Aquatic Mine, which isn't exclusively a haunted level, but it still has some of those elements. The main thing is the ghosts that you can find throughout the stage, and there are a few other things that can be considered spooky, but if you ask me, this is primarily a water-themed level. But there are also the levels that take place in the pyramid. Pyramid Cave, Death Chamber, and Egg Quarters all have a similar vibe. Death Chamber has this mechanic where you flip an hourglass to open doors. Yeah, it's a pretty tedious mechanic all things considered, but there is a speed stage incorporated in here as well with Pyramid Cave, so that's a plus for me. I do really like the boss with Knuckles against King Boom Boo. The fucking sounds this thing makes always cracked me up, even as a kid. But unfortunately, I can't give this level theming too much credit since, again, Sonic and Knuckles did it first. But it is nice seeing the concept realized in a fully 3D Sonic game. As much as I dislike Sonic Heroes, I have to give it some credit because it has possibly the coolest haunted Sonic level in the entire series. Hang Castle / Mystic Mansion has this haunted house aesthetic, and I love it. Hang Castle is this scary looking structure built by Eggman, and this is a good level to showcase the outside scenery of the whole package. Yep, they got it down pretty much perfectly here. Mystic Mansion feels like a more traditional haunted house level, which also has great theming in this game. I especially like the music in this level. Hell, you're probably hearing it in the background right now. I use it all the time around the Halloween season, it's awesome. Both stages share this gravity switching mechanic of sorts, where if you hit this orb, the entire level flips upside down, which opens up more pathways. Heroes' widely long and open-ended level design is something that I've never liked about the game, but I can appreciate gimmicks like this because it does provide a significant switch up to the level design. Just whatever you do, stay far away from the Chaotix missions. Moving on to Sonic and the Secret Rings. Man, already a couple of bad Sonic games we've talked about in this video so far. I like pretty much everything about Secret Rings except for the controls, so I'm going to try to not let that cloud my judgment of what I think about Skeleton Dome. This is an interesting one because it lacks that signature Halloween / fun spooky / haunted vibe that the previous levels had. Instead, the beginning of the level feels very dead almost. It's an empty, colorless field with a bunch of falling bone dust. If it wasn't for the banger soundtrack, it would honestly be kind of eerie feeling. As we progress through the level, we get to this cavern area and we explore what I think kind of looks like a giant arena. There are these skeleton enemies that I honestly didn't even think looked like skeletons at first, but yeah, sure enough. So yeah, this level's spooky aspect is hard carried by the opening segment, but again, I wouldn't consider this level to be haunted or anything, but rather very lifeless, and I mean that in a good way. Next up, we have Haunted Ship from Sonic Rush Adventure. Okay, come on, it's in the name. I'm gonna drop a hot take here. Sonic Rush Adventure is one of my favorite Sonic games, and I actually like it better than Sonic Rush. And the main reason why is that Rush Adventure has some of the best level theming in the entire series. It has no misses. Sky Babylon, Coral Cave, and of course Haunted Ship are some of my favorite levels in the game. As the name implies, it's a haunted ship that's located in a graveyard with a bunch of other abandoned and sunken ships. It's somewhat theorized that this level is inspired by the Bermuda Triangle, a place where many ships and planes are said to have been lost. It does complement the game's ocean adventure pretty well, and that's really what makes this level click. The Ghost Pirate boss fight in the level is also pretty fun. But yeah, again, I love the aesthetic, I love the theming, and the level design too. But that's nothing new with Rush Adventure if you ask me. After that, we didn't really get any more haunted levels until Sonic Lost World of all games. Okay, I need you all to brace yourselves for what I'm about to say. Ready? Okay, here it goes. I like Sonic Lost World. Yeah, I know. If you didn't shit your pants from hearing that, you fear nothing. The game is good. It's not great by any means, but I always have fun with it. Anyways, there are two levels in this game that both have a spooky theme going on. The first one is Silent Forest, Acts 2 and 4 specifically. It's not anything crazy, but Acts 2 is the one with the owl trying to track you, which does get a little suspenseful. That, combined with the music, is what gives it that spooky effect we all know and love. Act 4 is kinda similar. It has a very similar mechanic to Sandopolis from Sonic 3, where you have to switch on the lights every now and again, but the main haunted level from Lost World is Sky Road Act 4, which is another desert level. God damn, they just could not leave this concept alone. This one actually has ghosts in it, and they're kinda tricky to dodge too. But apart from that, the only other thing keeping the spookiness intact is the music, which has a motif that actually sounds kinda similar to the This Is Halloween song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Might just be a coincidence, but regardless, the song does do most of the heavy lifting here, which is kind of a shame. But I mean, it's Lost World, which is possibly the most bright and whimsical Sonic game in existence, so there's not much they could have done here. Alright guys, bad news. After that, there was no other haunted Sonic level in a mainline Sonic game until Sonic Superstars. Yeah, it took a whole decade to get another one. But thankfully, Pinball Carnival Act 2 is pretty damn good. It's one of the better levels in Superstars if you ask me. The theme is a haunted theme park, which, you know, I would have been happy with anything as long as it wasn't a desert. The main gimmick of this one is that you ride on these roller coasters, and you have to jump at the right time to proceed. It's a pretty fun gimmick. The spooky aesthetic is carried by multiple things. The background elements include green fog and a cloudy purple skybox. The music is also very fitting. But what I like most about this level is that there are some really fun Easter eggs in here too, like the Tails doll showing up. I love shit like that. But yeah, this is a really cool stage, and it checks pretty much all of the boxes for an ideal haunted Sonic level. Spooky levels in Sonic games are always a fun occurrence, but when looking at all of them in retrospect, they actually share a lot of similarities, regardless of how different they may seem on the surface. I am a little bummed that not every Sonic game has at least one, and I do hope that more are present in future Sonic games. But this video was still a lot of fun to make, and I really hope you all enjoyed it as well. I still have one more Halloween video planned that I can hopefully put out before the month ends, so I hope you guys look forward to seeing that as well. But that's all from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.